So hi everyone, today we'll be discussing the problem C from latest Codeforces round 742. So let's first read out the problem statement. So it says that Alice has just learnt addition, however she hasn't learned the concept of carrying fully. Instead of carrying to the next column, she carries to the column two columns to the left, right? And for example, the regular way to evaluate the sum of these two numbers should be this, but what she does is this. So we'll see this in the test cases. Meanwhile, let's see what the problem says as well. And so it has been asked. So Alice comes up to Bob and says that she has added two numbers to get a result of n. However, Bob knows that Alice adds in her own way. So Bob is aware about the fact that Alice does not add in a proper manner. Help Bob find the number of ordered pair of positive integers such that when Alice adds them, she will get a result of n. Note that pairs a comma b and b comma a are considered different in a equal to b. Okay, so let me write the test case. So what it says is this is 2039 and the another number that was given to us is 20392976, right? So it is 2, 9, 7 and 6. So what will happen here is, if we do the normal addition, then what we'll do, we'll write 5 here, we'll carry 1, and then we will write 1 here again, and when we'll carry 1 to the next column towards the left, and then we'll write a 0 here, and then we'll carry 1 again. So the number will be 5015, right? But what does Alice do? So let's check out. What she does is, if the number is 2, 0, 3 and 9 and 2, 9, 7 and 6, then what happens is, if she is adding these two numbers, then carry comes 1, and that carry she will carry that number here, that is two columns to the right, and this will happen. So the carry gets here, and then these two numbers are added, and she gets a 0 here, and now the carry will go to this place, like the carry now will be here. So these two numbers are added, 0 and 0, 9 plus 1, so this will give us a 0 here, and then there will come a 1 in carry, and it will come to two more positions. Instead of shifting to one column, she will shift it to two columns. So what will happen is, this will become 5 and this will become 1. So the actual answer should have been 5015, like it has been given 5015, but the way she adds, it comes out to be 15005, right? So 15005. So now you have to, she comes to Bob and says that she has added numbers and it gives n. So Bob wants you to give two ordered pairs, a comma b. We'll read out the problem statement. So you need to help Bob to find out the ordered pair of positive integers such that when Alice adds them, she will get a result of n. Note that the pair of a comma b and b comma a are considered as different. So this is a question, and there are two things that you can see. There are a few things that we can notice. What happens is, if you look at these indexes, there are two indexes that you need to notice. There are odd indexes, these are the odd indexes. So these are the odd indexes. Here also you will see the odd indexes. This is the odd index, then this is the odd index. So this is odd index, and these are the even indexes. I will mark them for you. These are the even indexes. This is also an even index, this is also an even index. So what happens is that if you are doing normal addition, then there is no problem. When you are doing this type of addition, then there is separate thing for the even indexes and the odd indexes. So if you have a carry here, if you get a carry at this index, then you will pass it to the two columns to the left, and if you get get a carry here, then at this index, then you will pass it to two columns here. So there are two approaches to it. Some people might have done it using the basic odd even approach, but here we will be discussing about the dynamic programming approach. So what does the dynamic programming approach says? So before that, what we can say is that you need to find all such number of pairs, all such type of numbers that can be formed. So suppose that for all the ordered pairs, what happens is, so what will be the ordered pairs? Your digit, you will start iteration. So you can think, you basically see that there are two numbers, one is here and one is here. So what will happen is, you can have one number here and another number here. So how do you approach this problem? That is the point. Like, how do you approach it, right? So what will happen next is, like, let us suppose that that you have been given the number, and the number can be, let's say the number is n, right? So let's look at the sample test case that must have been given to us. So like, here we have been given 100, right? So you need to make 100. So how can you make it? You need to make 100. So let's suppose that you had numbers like 1 and 9. You had these two digits, and what you could have done is, you could have added these two digits. So what would have happened is, you have to add like Alice does. So what Alice does is, this will be 0, then the carry that will come, that will go to two indexes ahead. So assume that you have more number of zeros, like we can take any number of zeros towards the left. So what will happen is, this one will come here and it will carry two indexes ahead, right, in the way Alice does. So you get 100, right? Another way to form it could be, like, let's say you had 2 here and you have 8 here, correct? So what would have happened is, you have 0 here, you have 0 here again, but the carry goes to this index, right? So it goes 2 index towards the left and you get 1 here. So this is again 100. So these are the type of pairs, like 1 and 9 is a pair, then 9 and 1 again can be a pair. Then what will happen, 2 comma 8 is a pair, then 8 comma 2 is a pair, and similarly 3 comma 7 can be a pair, and 7 comma 3 can be a pair, then 4 comma 6 can be a pair. I'll write it here for you. So 1 comma 9 is a pair, again 9 comma 1 is a pair, then 2 comma 8 is a pair for you, then 8 comma 2 is a pair, then similarly 3 comma 7 is a pair, and 7 comma 3 is a pair, and 4 comma 6 is a pair, then similarly 6 comma 4 is also a pair, then 5 comma 5 is also a pair. So let's count the total number: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Are we missing something, or is it 9? Let's see. So it is 9. You can see that the answer to this is 9. And is there any other example given? Yeah, example is given. Like, you can see the example is given similar like we did. So how do you approach such a problem in a DP manner? Like, what we'll do is, we will be very simple in our approach. There is nothing too much that we need to worry about. So just think about it in a DP manner. So let's assume that we have a DP, or let's just assume that we have a recursive function. So what is happening is, you are adding, right? So you are adding, and when do we apply recursion? We apply recursion when we have to do things. We have to go again, like I said, like, you are adding. So you are, what you are doing, you are moving your indexes. Like, let's suppose that this is the 0th index, this is the first index, this is the second index. So you are moving at each index, and you are carrying for two indexes ahead, right? This is the case, and we all know that. So what will happen is that, let's suppose that you have been given the number n. So let's suppose that you have been given the number 100. So you can take that input as an integer number. Then what you can do, it you can store that number in an array. So like, you store this number in an array. So what will happen is your array would look something like this. You have an array named as A. Let's suppose the array is A. Then this will be the 0th index, this will be the first index, and this will be the second index. So these are the values of the indexes that we can form, right? So these are the indexes of this of the number, and you start the addition from left to right. So that is why your index will be 0 from this side, right? And let us see like how do you do addition. In normally what happens is, if there are two numbers and you add them, then you directly move the carry to this number, this index, the next index. Like if you are at ith index, then you simply move the carry to the I plus 1th index. But in this case what you will do is you will move the carry to I plus 2 index, that is 2 indexes ahead towards the left, right? So I hope that this much point is clear. Now there will be two types of carry. What two types of carry? There will be, let's suppose that we are at this index. Let me write it once. So what will happen is, let us suppose that you have been given like 007 and 003. Let's suppose that this number. So what will happen is you have 0 and then you pass 1 and you will pass 1 here, right? So the number will be 100. So what happened is you pass the carry to this number, right? And we have been discussing this for whole the video. So what happens is that if you are at the ith index, then you will pass its carry to the I plus 2 index, and for this index you will pass the carry to the two indexes towards the left, right? So how will you do it? So you can do it using recursion. So let us suppose that for this index, for the index who has there will be two indexes. There will be two types of index. First types of indexes will be where I would be equal to 0, 2, then 4, then 6, in this manner. These are the initial indexes, like this index, then this index. So for that you can assume the carry to be carry 1, and for the indexes that you have odd, where the value of I is odd, so for all those indexes you can assume the carry to be carry 2, right? So you are getting an intuition where you can declare a DP of 3 state, where there will be first state would be what? First state will be the number itself, and then you will have the carry 1, and then you will have the carry 2, right? This will be the approach. You will simply, for a particular number, now you will think that how can we do it. So we can do it like you have an array, and you have for this array you have the number. Let's suppose that it is 100. So what you do is, for a particular index I, that is INDX, for this particular index, for each of the indexes, what you do is you simply check if what the sum that you are getting at a particular index, like this is an index, so the value at this particular index, if you are getting the sum as the same, then what you will say? You will say that you have got this particular digit right. So the addition that you must have performed has been correct, and you have got this. So that means that you will continue with the further indexes, and for this index you will see what is the carry for you. Like I'll show you the code. So what happens is, like basically what is happening is, if you are at an index where you have exhausted all the elements of the array, then simply what you can do is you can simply return. And why return? While returning you have to check if both carry 1 and carry 2, that is the carry for the even values of I and the carry for the odd values of I, if both are 0, then you will return what? You will return 1. And if any of them are 1, then that means that you will eventually have to, if you have reached the end of the array and both the indexes both the carries are 0, then you will simply, it will return, if both are 0 then it will return 1, else it will return 0. So you can simply say that if both the carries do not have any value, then you will return 1, and if any one of them is not 0, then you will simply return 0. And if your answer has already been calculated, that is if your DP at the particular index has already been calculated, that is if it is not equal to -1, then you will simply return the answer for that particular index, because this is forming a recursive tree internally. There can be many states that could have been calculated previously, so you do not want them to be calculated again, because this will lead in time limit exceeded. So you will simply return the answer, and if that is not the case, then you will initialize the answer to 0, and you will try to form permutations of indexes, like you will have a digit 1 and digit 2, and the first loop for digit 1 will start from 0 till less equal to 9, and the second loop will start from 0 till less equal to 9. And what will happen is, what you simply do is you take the sum out. And what is the sum is d1 plus d2 plus carry 1. What is carry 1? Carry 1, you remember, the carry that came to you from the first indexes. So you can take that and you can do the modulus 10, so you will get the sum. And then for the carry, how much you are getting carried, then you can simply add d1 and d2 and carry 1, and simply you can divide it by 2 to get the carry. And if the sum that you are getting at that particular index is not equivalent to the sum, is not equivalent to the value at the array of index, that is that particular digit of the number. If you are not getting a sum equal to that particular digit of the number, then you can simply continue, because you can start iterating back in the loop, and you need to find a pair. So you need to find a digit such that you can you can get the sum equal a of index, right, for that particular index of the number. And after that, what you will do is, if you find such a case, then you will simply you will move to the next index, and your carry 2, what is carry 2? Your carry 2 is the carry for the odd indexes that was coming to you. Now you will make that as carry 1, you will pass that as carry 1, so that the carry gets transferred from, not from the particular column to the next, to its adjacent column to the left, but you need to move to the two columns. Instead of moving to one column, you want to move to two columns. So that is why you will pass carry 2 here in the carry 1 parameter, and the carry 3 that you have, you will pass it in this carry 2 parameter. And once again, when you will come back for this loop, then this carry 3 will become carry 2, will be passed in form of carry 2. So in this way, what will happen is, for the particular index I, you will be passing the carry for I plus 2th index. So this is the DP that many people might have missed, but this is the optimal way that I had found, or this is the best optimal way that I thought that this question could be done. And you can see that what you have to do is, every time you start a test case, you will have to take your array, and you will have to clear this array, and you have to store the number. Like I said, if it's 100, then you will store 0 at the 0th index, then again you will store 0 at the 0th index, then again you will store 1 at the second index. And after you get an answer for dp 0, 0, 0, then what will happen is, you will get two more answers. Like, let's get back to the OneNote, and where I'll show you, there can be two answers that you will be getting that are not the ones that you want, and those two answers would be 0, n and n, 0. So these two would be the answers that you will be getting in addition, additionally, because it says that you need to find pairs such that both the numbers that you have been given must be positive. So this is the reason why, when you get the answer from the DP, you will subtract 2 from it. So this is the code. We have provided you the link for this code in the description. You can check that out, and in case if you have any doubt, then you can ask that in comments. Thank you.